Okay, perfect. Let's get started. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Richard. Welcome to our meeting number 7. I am very happy to see many of you and, of course, Richard with us. The short videos published by Richard, I remember they made a huge impact on my understanding of deep or the deepest identity. So thank you very much, Richard, for sharing and improving, perfecting the message of Douglas Harding. And I am happy that you will share this message also with us here this morning. The key message of this course is that we cannot and we shouldn't escape our role in society, in family, in a work environment, but we can travel lighter. We can travel with light head, and our main tool is mindfulness. Mindfulness during formal session, mindfulness during ordinary daily activities, as well as mindfulness during stressful moments, when anger arises, where fear arises. In those very moments, we turn our attention inwards and we watch what's happening inside, allowing the tensions to release, allowing the energy to release. So it's a different approach to I think seeing the approach that you share is more direct. It's also simpler. So please, Richard, share with us what seeing is. Maybe we can taste it and experience it directly. And if you could also comment on the relation between seeing and mindfulness and what benefits seeing brings to our life, especially in the work environment. So warm welcome, Richard Lang.
Well, thank you very much, Igor and Isa, and a pleasure to be here. And yes, what I have to share is very simple, and I'll do my best to make it relevant to people. So the first thing that I just want to say really is that what I'm going to be sharing is an experience of space. And I don't know if you have these kind of phrases in Polish, but if if someone's having a difficult time, you might give them space, or you might just give yourself some space, step back from a situation. And to find space in your life is to find some relaxation, a way of re-energizing yourself and reconnecting to situations. So I am going to be sharing some simple techniques for making space available. And I'm going to take you through some awareness exercises that give you experience of space, because it is primarily an experience rather than just an idea. And there's lots that we could think about, but I'm going to try and make it simple today. And I would hope you can just approach it with an open mind and try it out, and just see whether or not it's helpful for you. So space, I mean it literally. And I would like you just to notice, to begin with, as a way of becoming aware of space, is that you do not see your own face. So if you've not come across a headless way before, then please be open-minded. Just look down at your own body. Actually look down and notice you can see your body, but you can't see your head. And I say above my chest somewhere is space. I don't see my own head. Of course, I'm aware everyone else can see it. And I've got sensations, but I don't actually see my face. So it's a private thing. Everyone else can see your head. But if you look around the room now, you can see objects, but you don't see your head. It's the most obvious thing. Now, to make this really clear, I'd like you to do a little experiment to direct your attention to space. And most of you have not got your video on. which is probably good because some people get embarrassed doing this. So no one need see you. So you're going to take your finger and point at something in front of you. It could be the screen. So it's for directing your attention, because becoming aware of space is very simple, like a child. It's not a complicated intellectual thing. So you've got to do something very simple. So take your finger, point at something, a name on the screen, it's all right. And just notice that that name has got a color and a shape, you know, a form. And then point at something else in your environment and look along your finger and notice you can see colors and shapes there. Now I want you to point back at where others see your head. And so you've actually got to do this. And then just look at your finger and notice that where your point, you can see your finger, but you don't see your head. And this is just the simplest way of directing your attention to space. It's a faceless space. It's a private thing. And we call this, actually we call it two-way attention. So it's a bit complicated, but if you point out at the same time, like I'm doing with the other hand, this is two-way pointing. So the one finger is pointing out at things which are not space in this sense, not empty. They've got color and shape. But the inward pointing finger, you don't see anything here. It's just open. And so this gives you access. So another thing, the very simple way of bringing your attention to space is to hold your hands out in front of you like this. So again, I ask you to do it. And you can see your hands and you can see a gap between your hands. And then I just want you to bring them back past either side of your head, but notice they get bigger and then they disappear. So you've got to actually do that and then bring them forward. Try that again. I mean, it's like a child. You've got to be like a child. You bring it back and your hands disappear. Now just notice they disappear off the field of vision and then they come forward. Now, just close one eye and look at your nose, how simple this is. And notice you've got a huge nose. It goes from the ceiling to the floor, but it disappears off the field of vision and you don't see your face. All right, so I am talking about something very simple that's not a feeling, it's just an observation. And if you look at me on the screen, we call this face to no face. This is bringing this awareness of space into your relationships. So please remain open-minded and just try this. As you're looking at my face, notice you don't see your own face at the same time. We call this, from your point of view, face to no face, you see, or being empty for the other person. And this is, you know, if in a situation you've got some tension going with someone, then it's a good idea to step back perhaps, or give yourself or them space. But in some situations, you've got to stay with the person. But this is a way of seeing the space in a situation. So it's not confrontation face to face. See, it's face to no face. So I would even say when I'm looking at someone, I have their face instead of my own. I'm built open for them, you see. So just as you're looking at me now, you only see my face, you don't see yours. So I'm going to just share a few other things with you and part of what I will share with you is with eyes closed, so we can do a sort of mindfulness meditation. But first, I want to just show you how this can, awareness of space in your life, of the place you're looking out of, your true identity, in fact, I would say, which is open space, is also awareness of stillness. Space doesn't move, you see, things move, but space doesn't move. And to be aware of stillness in the midst of all the movement of your life is very relaxing and energizing and empowering. And I'm going to ask in a moment Igor to play a video. And this is only a couple of minutes, but it will give you an idea of how you can actually be aware of stillness in your everyday life, aware of space. So, well, that was very good, Igor. All right, here we go.
Turning around on the spot, you point at where others see your face and notice whether you're moving or the world is moving. I find that from my point of view, I'm still and the world is turning. You can notice this when you're walking. You're still and the ground flows under you. When you're climbing steps, you don't go up, the steps go down. This awareness may result in fewer spills. Don't move the cup, move the carpet. You've always been like this. It's just that as an infant you are not yet very aware of what you look like to others. As an adult you know that like others you're on the move, yet privately you see that your world glides through you. Looking down as you cycle, you pedal the road past, it races underneath you. And in a car, everything there is in motion, flowing into the stillness here. Of course you know that for others you're moving and the street is still, but for you it's the opposite. At the start of a journey, it's the station that begins to move, not you. And then, a little while later, you find that you've gone nowhere and your destination is arriving in you. Life is like a merry-go-round, always in motion. It's not just physical things that are always changing, but thoughts and feelings too. Discover what a difference it makes to see that at centre you are still, free from all change and stress. You are the still point of the turning world, and you are the turning world.
Oscar recommendations will be accepted. So there is something that you can notice. You see, it's very practical. When you're walking down the street, this space that you're looking out of is still, and the street is moving through you. When you're driving, you go nowhere, because at center you don't move, you see, and your destination comes to you. And as a baby, you're headless, I would say. You're born, you have no idea what you look like. Growing up is learning to see yourself as others see you, so you're in motion for others. And as an adult, we are aware of what we look like. I'm aware of my face and that I'm moving. But when you wake up to your true nature, which is what I'm pointing to now, you see that for yourself, you're very different from how you are for others. That for others, you've got a head and you're moving. But I say for myself, I have no head, you see, from my point of view. And I'm still. And I'm space for what is happening and space for others. So one of the things that you can be aware of is how this helps with your self-image. And we can be quite hard on ourselves sometimes and criticize ourselves and all of that, or feel separate. And you can develop the capacity to be space for your self-image, and it leads to kindness. And I'm going to, this is a meditation that you can do whenever you look in a mirror, is to acknowledge that you see your face there, but you are space for your image. And so I'm going to ask Igor to play the mirror video. It's only 20 seconds or less. And it is me looking in a mirror. And it'll give you an idea of what you can, how this can help with your self-image. So this is me looking in a mirror, if you play that now. And it's just to say that my face is out there, and you can imagine you're looking, and you're looking from the faceless space. So you're being space, I'm being space for my image there. And all sorts of criticisms might come up about me there, But I am, so you can play it once more, I think, Igor, if you would. So I'm being aware of being space for my image. And that's a kind of freedom. It's not a denial. It's being seeing where my face is there. And on this side of the mirror, I am space for it, just as I'm space for everyone. All right. So the mirror shows me what I look like, you know, in society and for others. But now I'm not overlooking that I'm also here space for my self-image, just as I'm space for everybody, really. All right, so now I'm going to just take you through a closed eye meditation, just a couple of minutes or so. And so I would like you to close your eyes. And, well, actually open your eyes and just look down at your body again and notice you can't see your head. All right, that's it. Yeah. All right, close your eyes and actually open your eyes. I'm just going to do one more thing just to lead into it. Notice you don't see your own face now. And if you look at, looking out, you can see the whole field of view. And notice that the field of view, I'm talking about what you actually see, fades out all the way around. So just take your hand and see where it disappears, if you would, because this is so simple, like a child. So that's the edge. And I'd like you just to notice if you see anything around the field of vision. See, or isn't it just actually given in space? I say I can't see anything above it or below it or around it. And it's just presented in this space here. So I'm being space for the whole world now. I'm being space for the field of vision. And the field of vision is single. So there's meditation. There's not a kind of debate, really. It's just, as you look out, what do you see? Doesn't the field of vision fade out all the way around? And it's given in consciousness, in fact. And I'd like you to notice one other thing. This is really going back to basics. If you look at two objects in front of you, you can compare them for size. So one is bigger or smaller than the other. And then compare two other objects. You can decide which is bigger and which is smaller, or they might be the same size. Now be aware of the whole field of vision. How big is it? Well, there isn't a second field of vision on the left to compare it with. I'm talking incredibly simply, see. So I can't say how big the whole field of vision is. The things within it, I can compare for size, but the whole thing is single. So I can't compare it. It's incomparable. So I can't compare it. I can't say how big it is, and it's not inside anything. All right, now close your eyes, if you would, please. And you'll have a kind of darkness, I suppose. Now, how big is the darkness? On present evidence, not going by memory. And I say, well, there isn't a second one to compare it with, you see. So I can't really say. It's just single. And is it inside anything? I don't actually find it's inside anything. It's just floating there in this space, you see. So I'm giving it space. I am space for it. And now be aware of the sounds going on, my voice and other things. And coming and going, I would say, in this space, you see. So now I'm giving space to the sounds. And the sounds do not disturb the space or the silence. So here is a place that is kind of a refuge from all the noise going on without kind of running away from it. And then be aware of your body sensations, you see, changing. And how big is the whole field of sensation? See, if you were just born this moment, would you be able to say how big you are? Well, I don't think I would. And this field of sensation, there isn't a second one to compare it with. And do the sensations affect the space? So here's keep your eyes closed, but I want you to just try something. Make your left hand into a fist so that you get a little bit of tension there. Now, does that tension affect the space? I say it doesn't. It affects the hand. See, now relax. See, now you're going to do that again and just notice whether it affects the space. That's the primary thing. So now tense your right hand, you see. So you get tension there. But I say that the space in which that tension is happening is free and unaffected. So relax your hand. And finally, be aware of your thinking and feeling. You see, that complicated, changing experience of thoughts and feelings. Do those affect the space? I say, no, they don't. They come and go in the space. And in fact, I would like you to imagine a number, think of a number. Now, where did that come from? You see, doesn't it just come out of nowhere and then disappear again? Or imagine the face of a friend. See, I say, well, it just comes up in the space. It doesn't affect the space, or even could say it comes out of the space. Space is created. So what I'm calling space is your true nature, is consciousness. It doesn't have a form, and that's the freedom of it. See, so now think of a problem you've got. Well, I say that the problem doesn't affect the space. So that, and if you're aware of the space as well as the problem, that gives you a place to operate from that is relaxed, even in the face of a problem, you see. All right, so now open your eyes. And one other idea I'd like to give you is called the single eye. Now, when you look at me, you can see two eyes. And when you look in the mirror, you can see two eyes. But now point back at the place you're looking out of. That's that little experiment. So if you, now, do you see two eyes there, or is it one opening without a boundary? I say it's one opening without a boundary. So this is what I call the single eye. And I say everyone's looking out of this single eye. And so that is a little tour. Do we have time to play that short video, Igor, about the layers? Is that, I'd like...
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
All right, so first of all, if you do the map, actually, the onion map, so this is a little bit of theory for everyone, but it's only going to be 3 minutes. So the onion map first, because just to show you how this makes some sense, this is what you look like at different ranges. And you are you at 0, but what you look like at 6 feet or 2 meters is a human being. That's what the mirror shows you. But if someone came up to you, they would see cells, molecules, atoms, particles. And if they moved away, then they'd eventually see the earth and the star. So you've got layers. And what we're doing in these little experiments is to point at the center. Now, if you play the half, show the half onion map now. My assistant here working very hard. Ah, there we are. Now there's, you see, that's as if you're looking down and you see your headless body. And looking out, you've got layers, you know, very close. You've got your headless body, then the desk, and then the window and the trees and the clouds and the stars at night. Now, I'd like you to hold your arms out, hands out, so that you can see your left hand on the left side of the field of view and your right hand on the right side, a bit like that map, but just hold them so that you're, now notice how from your point of view, you embrace the world. And the first person, the space here, embraces the world. It's a very welcoming, safe, friendly thing. At center, you embrace the world. All right, so now we'll play the little video. This is a rather fun video, a little entertainment, but shows how it makes sense in terms of the layers of your appearance.
Who are you? What you are depends on distance. At several meters, you are a person. But when I approach you, you change. Now you are a cell, a molecule, an atom, until at very close range, you disappear. When I move away from you, you change again. Now you appear as humanity, the Earth, the solar system, the Milky Way. Finally, you disappear again. All these layers are appearances of you. You are a many-leveled living system. But what are you at the center of all your layers? No outside observer can tell you, because they always remain distant from you. But you are no distance from yourself, so you can see what you are at center. Here at the center of all my layers, I see nothing. No face, no head, nothing at all. Looking out, I see that this empty, aware space is full of the whole world. Are you the same?
Something to live from. So yes, one has to test it out and to see whether it works. Yes.
Richard, how about our mindfulness practice? If you could relate, or you probably did, but if you could once again relate our technique compared to seeing who we really are.
Yes, I would say that seeing who you really are is like an add-on to the mindfulness. If mindfulness is paying attention to what is given, then this is helping you give space or attention to what is given. And when you see here this open space, when you've got a problem like the tension or somebody, it helps you remain present and it helps you remain relaxed, like the tension doesn't affect the space. And in our busy lives, it gives you access to the stillness at the center of yourself. And this is not dependent on mood. When you're feeling low, you can be aware of the space here. So this is giving you access to relaxed attention in all situations, not just when you might be on your own in a quiet place, but in the midst of life, face to no face, movement to stillness. So you're looking out of your single eye, tension, stress to freedom from that. So it is a help to being mindful and being present and being awake and being sane, really.
And we are talking about seeing. Do you see any progress here, or just click and you start to be aware that you are the space, but there is no progression from being a person to being a space?
Well, you're both, you see, and the space itself doesn't develop, and it's always perfectly available. That's the great thing about it. You don't have to develop it or get better at it. You can't. Space is just space. So whenever you're aware of your single eye or being face to no face, you can be assured you're doing it perfectly. But the way that it affects you and helps you in your life will develop and develop and develop. Or if you do it, if you actually meditate, two-way meditation, if you practice it. Anyone can do this, and it's non-hierarchical. I can't be better at space than you, or worse. Yeah. So it's very friendly, yeah. there's lots on our website, you know, if you want to learn more, and Igor can tell you too. Yeah.
And how about the relationships with other people? How do you see the changes when you act out of the space?
Yes, well, it's simple but profound, because as I said, as a baby, you have no idea what you look like. You don't think of yourself in a box or behind a face. Growing up, you learn to see yourself from outside, so you're separate, which is important to know. But when you become aware that privately you're faceless, then this means that privately you're seeing you're not confronting others. It's face to no face. And you are aware, I would say, we need a new language in a way to articulate this. From the normal language, face to face. Privately, it's face to no face. Privately, I have your face instead of mine. I am you. I'm space for you. I know that you, for yourself, are the same as me, that you're looking out of open space. So this opens one to a very different complementary way of relating to so-called others. You see that actually, in a certain sense, they're yourself. I mean, it's not like I know what you're thinking and feeling, but you are within me. And it is very, conducive to being with people genuinely. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. So I think I don't need to ask about work environment because the same people appear there. So you feel big proximity and no distance.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yes.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Richard. Maybe we have any other questions on chat or online. For those who have problems with videos, of course, I will share the recording with all the videos and with translations. So don't worry, everybody will have the full access.
Well, a delight to share with you, and I hope this is meaningful to some of you, well, to everyone. So thank you very much for letting me be part of your world for a while. Yeah.
Thank you, Richard, very much. It was very interesting. Thank you for your time, and I'm sure that it will have a strong impact on some of us, maybe all of us. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much, Richard.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Great
Thank
lecture.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Nice
Bye.
day. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye. Thank you.